down, we'll never come down. When the sun comes up, we'll be feeling how we do right now. My heart's on fire, coming down to the wire. While the world sleeps, we'll keep burning brighter and brighter.
Morning everyone, welcome to our video. I've just finished the morning milking, and when I was getting the cows up the row I noticed that we had a lame cow, so she's in the wrangler ready to have a look at her foot and see what's causing her such discomfort. Ordinarily I wouldn't be particularly excited about doing hoof trimming, it's not my favourite job, but I'm quite excited about it this morning because I should have razor sharp hoof knives. Now I couldn't sharpen a hoof knife, or any knife for that matter, to save my life, and I'd imagine that Urian is equally bad at sharpening knives, so we made the call to send them down the South Island for a proper sharpen. So I can't wait to see how they go after a proper sharpen. It does beg the question though, well it's not really a question, it's more a statement, that my hoof knives have more adventure in their life than what I do. This girl's a bit of a repeat offender when it comes to having foot problems. There looks to be a lot of activity up the right hand side of her outside claw, and it's a little bit too long down there, so we'll give that a prune up and see what we find up here. That is probably what is causing her such discomfort.
I use the grinder to slowly remove pieces of hoof and expose the direction of the most probable area causing her discomfort. I then use the grinder to carefully buff off the weathered hoof on the bottom of the claw to see if there are any other imperfections that may be causing her additional pain. In this case, she had a reasonable amount of excess hoof on the bottom, and beneath it was some bruising. I think these overgrown or underworn layers were causing her to bear more weight on this claw, and the extra pressure may have caused the bruising.
Oh, that's easier. That one's a bit long too.
The major problem area was becoming more obvious, so I used the hoof knife to track up the crack to see where it led. This area of the hoof was extremely hard hoof, and even with a sharp knife it is difficult to cut.
There we go. Where's that coming out of? Oh! Yuck. So, have to
There is nothing more satisfying than finding an abscess pocket on a foot. When you release it, it gives the cow almost instant relief. This was not a particularly big one, which means we caught it relatively early before it could make a big mess trying to find its way out. I give it a spray with chlorhexidine to clean it up and get a better look of the wound and see if it needs to be opened up higher. I thought it looked okay, so I opened up the outsides of the affected area to make it more difficult for mud and manure to accumulate while it heals. Here I am removing the overburden and exposing the bruising. This area of her foot was really quite soft and the knife cut through it like room temperature butter. Hopefully by removing that overburden she puts less pressure on this area of her foot and can distribute her weight better. It's only in the last year that we started using these wooden blocks. We used to use plastic slips that the hoof went into. They used slower setting glue, which meant you had time to get it attached correctly. They stayed on the hoof for way too long, so we moved to these wooden blocks. The glue on these bad boys sets within seconds, so one false move from the cow or me and it won't last long at all. I get so nervous and shaky applying these blocks and have an awful track record with them. On the average day, I am lucky to apply it in such a way that the cow even makes it out of the wrangler with it still on. This morning, however, we were on to a winner and I am proud to report the block is still firmly in place. Boom. She doesn't like her block, but she's walking much, much better. She walks like me in high heels. We're forecast to get a little bit of rain today, but it's not of a hugely significant amount. It's really just enough to keep the mushrooms growing, I think. But at any rate, I have noticed when it's going to rain soon, so within the next 24 hours, the grass basically leaps out of the ground. It goes lime green and it looks like it's actively growing again when it thinks, or perhaps it knows that rain's coming. So the forecast is saying not much. I think the grass is saying that there's a little bit coming. So it'll be very interesting to see what is going to happen over the next 24 hours. Wouldn't be disappointed with a small drop. We ended up getting 20 millimetres, which was a bit less than we had hoped for, but the farm has responded really well. Hosing the pad is an excellent wet day job and is much easier hosing than in dry conditions, so Urian took advantage of the extra moisture and gave it a good clean up. Seeing we held the cows here until we have finished milking, this is a job that needs to be done every 5 or 6 days.
April showers in the month of May. The ground's still wet and the sky's still gray, but you're still shining. No cadences or chords to play, no melodies or words to say, but you're still singing, and it keeps me breathing. When I fall apart into a million pieces, when I don't know where to start, you put me back together. You put me back together again. When the waters rise and the levee breaks, through your tear-filled eyes and your hands that shake.
That's better. Good running arm. You need good footage. They're all going the wrong way. They're going the wrong way. They're meant to be going to the shed, but they're going the other way, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, we fed salt and loose lick side by side. Provided there was enough salt, the cows didn't touch the loose lick, so we only offer it every few weeks to check if they want some. We found this quite fascinating, and Urian did some research on salt and found that cows use sodium to bind to excess nitrates. If there is not enough sodium available, they mobilise calcium and magnesium instead. We have noticed an increase in the salt intake when there is an increase in milk urea, so we offer ad-lib salt every day.
Yeah, she'll get you. Won't she? She
I
would,
said sump off when you're driving.
yeah, she would feast little boys.
We now have the whole farm in the grazing rotation and won't be doing any more silage or hay this season. The cows are currently on a 32-day round length. The clover is really prominent in the pastures at the moment. It is having a real second wind of growth since the autumn rain. The prevalence of clover here means we don't have to put on any nitrogen fertiliser to create feed between now and calving, and it provides high quality milking feed. Oh, hang on. I'll back up a bit to take the tension off. Did you get the bugger?
Lucky I was the side to do it.
Lucky you were there, yeah.
Yeah, to the side. Is the thing inside?
Now it's got a shock on.